everyone, beautiful people. So I decided to just do a video solely for Patreon subscribers because I wanted to speak to the card of the week, but I also have been feeling like I need to do the astrological weather report at the beginning of the week so that we know what's going on and we know what to expect. It is actually super helpful and important to me to know what's going on in the cosmos at any given time because it impacts me so deeply. So I'm going to share my screen with you all and we're going to talk a little bit about this. Um, First, the cards of the week are Play and Priestess. And I got the Four of Cups and the Three of Swords with Play. Y'all can see those? Okay. There you go. I got the Hanged Man under the Priestess. I get the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Wands under the Hanged Man. And I get the Prince of Cups under that. And I'm going to post a picture so that y'all can access that. And this is not going to be content that anyone else has access to. It's only going to be for us on the Patreon. So where are we? Like first, I want to speak to the chart so that we can get a little bit more insight into what's going on in the cards. Because just with the cards, it's Pisces season. We know that the sun is making a trine to the moon, which is nice. I like that. And the moon is in Gemini along with the North Node. It's also, which I feel like there's nodal energy here. There's karmic energy here in this Priestess card with the Ten of Wands and the Ten of Cups, because the Ten of Wands, let's see, in that order now, I don't know what that's all about. And the Hanged Man is in reverse, I should say. The Ten of Wands has Saturn on it. So we know, because 10 is also a Saturnian number, we know that it has to do with Capricorn. It has to do with karma. It has to do with past karma. And it feels like what's coming in is that with the Ten of Wands and the Ten of Cups, like, and the reversed Hangman and the Prince of Cups, like with this Priestess card, like how are you being called to step up and lead? This is Isis, and she is guiding us onto the divine realms. Yesterday, she's guiding us to the divine realms. We should ask for help from the Divine Mother to ascend into those higher ways of being by being a light in the darkness, like not allowing ourselves. I'm sorry for that beeping. Oh my God. It's fucking ridiculous. I apologize for my language. So I see Isis as honestly like a parallel to Persephone, because her divine consort or divine counterpart is descended unto the underworld and is the ruler of the underworld. And she is not down there all the time. Not for nothing, I'm noticing that there's this light right here in what feels like the cosmic womb space. And tapping into that sacral allows us to be able to channel that light in our actions, in our manifestations, in our creations. And that light is in the eyes of these lions. So we're getting some, they're ancient Egyptian. So this card is very Egyptian. So of course that makes sense. But really channeling these divine downloads to step into our power. And that really feels like it's that energy that we are coming into from the cycle of Leo season to Aquarius season, where we have been stuck, we have been stagnated. That is ending now, and the reason for that is because with this hangman in reverse, the reason for that is because we've done the work, we've been in it, we've sat with it, and we've been raked over the coals. We've been brought to task for the things that we've done. And we're really facing the things that we've done. It's not about other people, as I've said, it's about us. It's about what we have done to manifest the life that we have before us. And that is really painful for absolutely anybody to have to face, to have to interact with, like, especially when it's like, well, this person did this to me. I was the victim of this person. You know, I saw something beautiful yesterday that said to be the witness to other people's actions, not the victim. We can be victimized, that much is true, but we have to remember that it's not about us, it's about them. And we, like, no matter what, the reality is, as somebody who has survived many forms of abuse, many different forms of assault, including, trigger warning here, give me a second to pause, including sexual assault. There's really no way that you can be a witness of something like that. And that is the point. It is a power grab. It is to disempower you at the most core primal level of who you are, and to assert their dominance over you, because these people don't feel like they have any dominance in their lives. And this is something that can really rupture our connection with our higher power, which for me is my higher self. For me, it is the universe. For me, it is the, oh my goodness. I hope that helps to, like, every time I close the window, it stops beeping, which is really annoying because I hate having the window closed. For me, it is the laws of physics. For me, it is the collective consciousness. For me, it's everything that exists outside of me. For me, it's that which I have no control over. And the reality is, as I've said in so many of these readings before, is like, I only have control over my actions. I don't have control over my feelings. Anybody who has intrusive thoughts knows I don't really have control over my thoughts, but I can choose what to give attention to. I can choose what to give energy to. More so, I can choose what to act on. And that is how I give energy and attention in this, and like propel the momentum of these vibrations. Thought travels on waves. It's information. It's communicated on waves, just like information is communicated on light, waves of light, particles of light, you know. That's how our thoughts travel. So I can choose to give those things momentum by acting upon them, or I can choose to not give them momentum by not acting upon them. And so we are coming out of this 10 of Wands period into this in this 10 of Cups period as well, which feels actually much more beautiful. And I want to look at the 10th house, because it just kind of makes a lot of sense to me that we should. We're working with tropical now. I'm learning about sidereal, and I do feel like that's kind of the wave of where we're going to be heading into, but maybe like in 2022. But so yeah, let's look at the 10th house. It is in Virgo. Actually, it's right on the cusp of, it's largely in Virgo. It's mainly in Virgo, but let me just do my due diligence. Yeah, it's at 0 degrees and 1 second of Virgo. Okay, so this is actually very much a culmination of that new moon in Aquarius energy that we had, which I said we had so much Virgo in energy, so much going on there, where like we are learning to act to a more healed place, because the interesting thing about it is, like, we had a lot of energy, just like a knife coming at our wounds. We've had like, and Virgo is ruled by Mercury, which is like about health. It is about medicine. And it is this like sort of omniscience that we get here, and it is being faced with like inescapably facing that which we have done. And it's like, where have we come, like what inspired us to do those things, what's the foundation, what's the root. Seeing the whole of who we are can be super, super painful and uncomfortable. And the beautiful thing about Pisces season is that it's coming in, this is the 10th house, by the way. It's coming in with this 10 of Cups energy, and it's like healing all of those sore spots that were exposed to us with this like brutal windstorm that we've been in with Aquarius season. And it's going to allow us to step into our power. Like I said, we can't really control our feelings. Feelings are feelings; they're not facts. We have to understand what is worth acting upon, what is worth integrating with, what is worth leading ourselves with, versus what is just a message from ourselves to ourselves. And so that's what we get with that Priestess card. But how are you being called to step up and lead? Well, I think that really we're being called to be examples of what generational curse breaking looks like. I think we're being called to be examples of what that feels like. It's not pretty. It's not painless. It's not sunshine and roses and rainbows all the time. It is arduous labor. It is birth of a new version of yourself. And it is not something that you can do alone. And so it's really about finding these safe spaces and people that can love you until you can learn to love yourself, and being vulnerable with those people and stepping into that, because ultimately what this looks like is letting go of everyone and everything that is keeping you from living in your truth with grace, with gratitude, with dignity, not holding on to resentment, not holding on to fear, anger, hate for anybody, anything, any idea, system, structure, place, person, thing, whatever, all nouns that have hurt us, just letting go of that pain, but remaining in that boundary. Like, listen, I'm good. You cannot give me, and I see that we have the moon at 28 degrees of Gemini, as I said, making a lovely trine to Venus and the sun. Venus is in Aquarius, and it's going to be there until the 25th, which is Thursday, in which case then it's going to join us in Pisces, join the sun in the Neptune. And it's really, of course, we have those in the 4th house. And so it's a lot having to do with family. It's a lot having to do with that foundation of where we came from. I get with the play card, the 4 of Cups and the 3 of Swords. And with play, it says have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. It's really with the 4 of Cups and with the 3 of Swords, this has been a prevalent card, like over the weekend, especially. And, we're talking about Venus, which is in Aquarius. We're talking about the 3rd house is in Aquarius. For the most part, it starts off in Capricorn, which, I always think it's interesting to consider, like, where it's like, okay, this is what I was given, but how do I approach this from a new space? Okay, I was indoctrinated into these ways of thinking. How do I approach that with like this new insight that I have that is, spiritually driven? I'm choosing to ground myself in spirit. That is my new foundation. So how do I do that? And so, yes, we're going to be like facing the pain of like understanding what has happened and accepting. Really, it's about accepting people for who they are. 4 of Cups, fourth house with the sun and Neptune here. And the fourth house is actually starting, it's at 0 degrees and 0 and 1 second of Pisces. So it's really just starting there. Like we're starting out in this new way of being, where we are empowered in our feelings. We have agency now. We can protect ourselves. And the only way that we can do that is by building that world in which we do that. Like we can't keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. We have to do a new thing. And that's how the healing comes in. So instead of being angry, instead of being fearful, it's really just about, you know, being graceful and acting with dignity and channeling our our divinity, which is, you know, for me, my idea, my conception of God, just something that I have been having difficulty saying, just because like it is very clear to me how many people have a really one-dimensional idea of God and have a really colonial idea of God. That is not what I operate from. And so it's important to understand that for me and for many seekers, it is integrity, divine unconditional love, compassion, and logic. So those are two divine feminine aspects and two divine masculine aspects that we can affix ourselves to and give ourselves to, and find so much healing and so much grace and so much peace when we open ourselves up to being balanced in that, however that looks for us. So yeah, that's what I've got. I think that this week is really just like about, you know, staying tuned in, because it's uncomfortable that it's a rocky space to be in with this Venus not being in Pisces yet. But I feel that by Thursday, when Venus gets to Pisces, we're going to feel more grounded. We're going to be like, you know what? I am channeling this love. I feel it. And it is what, like, I want to go more towards that. I would say, you know, we still have a shadow period of Mercury going direct. It's stationing direct in the third house at 11 degrees and 4 seconds, and it's going to swing back into where it was when it was finishing, when it was going retrograde, which I believe is like at 23 degrees or something like that. But so we're going to be moving back to that space, and that'll be the shadow period. And then once we hit that space, we're just going to shoot forward, and all of that stuff is going to like be beneath us, like it's going to be buried in the ground. So this is about heart healing. This is about womb healing. This is about really understanding that life is what you make it. It's not the world that the Matrix life is not inherently bad. You know, people have been sharing this video like Earth is ghetto with me. I don't fuck with that. Like, don't say that shit to me. No, it's us who act ghetto on this planet. It's us who treat this planet like a fucking ghetto. You know, and maybe I want to talk about the ghettoization of humanity and the ghettoization of Earth, and not in that pejorative context. No, the actual sociological definition of ghettoization, the actual sociological definition of a ghetto, because the reality of it is certain systems and people in power have created structures that ghettoize so much of this planet, and so much of humanity is pushed into these ways of being and ways of existing and ways of living. And a lot of that has to do with capitalism, but overarchingly, because before capitalism, it was these slave societies that go back thousands of years. And that's where we're really getting into. So there is a lot of healing that we all have to do from these ways of being. And this is like back in like the age of Aries, before the age of Pisces. I see I'm going to be talking about Yeshua a lot, and he was an abolitionist, you know, and I am an abolitionist, and that's what we do here. Spiritual liberation. And so we do see that the sick parts of the age of Aries are dissolving more and more every every day, every year, every decade, every generation, we get more and more intolerant of exploitation. And that is true. And if we can't see that, we cannot see the forest for the trees. That's going to be a problem. Excuse me while I charge. And so that's really all that I have to say. I think that we're really coming into a dissolution of the constructs and the constructs that have kept us imprisoned in ourselves, and just, you know, ride it out, keep meeting fear with faith, keep meeting pain with passion, keep meeting conflict with compassion, with contentment, with being in acceptance of all that you encounter and all that you see. Keep doing that. And that's going to heal us. That's going to get us to exactly where we need to be. Yeah, and so I pulled up the calendar. We have the 27th is the full moon in Virgo, so y'all are going to see me soon, because I got to make that video for y'all. But like I said, the 25th, and let me share this screen with you actually. The 25th of, yes, the 25th, what, is it sharing? Is it sharing that? Okay. Sorry. Zoom can be confusing sometimes. The 25th of February, we have a very astronomically powerful day. And we have Mars trining Pluto in Capricorn, which is extremely powerful. That is what this energy here is all about. We have Venus entering Pisces, which has a lot of this energy with it. The love that we've been seeking is coming if we are doing the work. We are opening up as flowers blooming unto receiving it. Don't be so serious. Like, you know, don't get bogged down in that low vibrational stuff that's surfacing in order to be released. You know, stay joyful, stay grateful, stay present, connect with others, give love to others. We have Sun in Pisces, sextiling Uranus. That is, as I said, I said this before, that there's going to be a lot of information coming in there, and it's going to be that liberating information, that healing information. And we have Jupiter in Aquarius, trining the North Node in Gemini, which is going to just be so expansive. So stay on this rainbow road. I love you all truly and deeply. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and have a beautiful rest of your week. If you like this form of content, please like it actually, so that I can know what's working for y'all and what's not working for y'all. I love you all truly and deeply. I will see you soon.